Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys are doing very well. I haven't been posting as much as I wanted to, but it's been so busy. It's been completely crazy. By the way, today and tomorrow will be the last days that the setup is like this. So by Saturday, I am fully recovered from the surgery, so I will be back in the full outfit once again. So thank you very much, guys, for bearing with me during this time period. Also, another little bit of house in order. Next week, I'll be traveling for business again. That will be the last one in April, but I will probably need to record a bit like this because it involves, going into planes and all sorts of stuff. So, but then after that, it's gonna be quiet until May. Then May, I have one or two flights, and then in June I have one, and July I have none. So then things should be a bit more stabilized. Now, as I've mentioned, last year to me on the stock market was all about two things: Fed signaling QT, check, and productivity gains in the job market due to AI. This is still to be seen. It was clear that the Fed would need to stop raising rates and stop selling bonds into the market. And the reason for it is actually quite simple. I've said this a few times before, but for the newcomers, let me repeat it. Basically, the Treasury Department adds $2 trillion in budget deficits and $1 trillion in trade deficits per year. So that is $3 trillion per year. On the debt, there is already $34 trillion. Now, if actually Janet Yellen was smart, during 2020, when we had the lowest interest rates in history, or 2021, she could have simply refinanced the government debt into 30-year bonds, or at least 10, 20, 30 year, and you would push the maturities, you would lock in some of the low interest rates, and you would push in maturities into the future. But of course, because she didn't do it, because it was slightly cheaper to do it at 2-year and 5-year, what it means is that a huge bunch of the national debt is coming due over the next 18 months, about a third of it. And if you look a little bit longer, so if you look up until 2028, even a larger percentage will need to be refinanced at this interest rates of 5.5% with the Fed, right? Now, why is this a problem? This is a problem because that means that by 2028, about 2/3 of the entire tax revenue of the US, now you're talking about rich people, poor people, middle class, income tax, dividend tax, capital gains tax, global sales tax, big business, small business, doesn't matter. All of them together, about 2/3 of it will go to pay interest, not the principal, interest on the debt, which means that is unacceptable. So the Fed will just cut rates. Now, everyone is afraid that that will lead to higher inflation. The funny part is that actually will lead to lower inflation because interest rates are nothing more than the cost of money. So if you reduce the cost of money for everybody in the economy, that means that businesses don't need to pass that cost into the consumers. When people say, oh yeah, but with cheap credit and low interest rates, money going to be flying and inflation will, ramp up hugely. We just had 30 years of Japan doing this. We've done this for 15 years in the US and Europe, and people still believe this. The Fed's balance sheet went from 800 billion to 5.5 trillion, and the average inflation was 1.6%. Once again, that would be the case if the Fed prints money, gives it straight to people. If they just print money and they lower interest rates, people still need to go to the banks, and if they have too much debt, which they do, if they don't have very good jobs, which they don't, the bank will tell them, thank you, but no thank you. But of course, for people with good jobs, the Elon Musks, the Bill Gates of the world, they will have access to money all day long. So those people, yes. But again, they will push asset prices up, not consumer prices, which means it's good for stocks, real estate, crypto, etc. Now, going into, and by the way, stocks still performing very well. Ever since I said that about the Fed signaling QT, and then when the Fed signaled eventually QT, stocks have done nothing but go up from that point. So And who says stocks? Sure, gold, other commodities also go up. And I mean, it's just funny that Peter Schiff throws a party every day, with gold at 2,300, but he forgets to tell you that you need gold at 2,700 just to break even, adjusted for government inflation in 2011. That party keeps out. It's not great to say, right? And basically what it means is, sure, you'll have new all-time highs in gold. You just need to wait, 11 years. With crypto, you get multiple all-time highs, dramatic all-time highs, and you wait, 2 years or 3 years. So it's up to you which one you think is better. In any case, shifting to crypto, Bitcoin's about 39,000, Ethereum at 3,400. There's a big decision coming on Ethereum, if it's going to be a spot ETF, if it's going to be a security. I do believe if it gets classified as a security, there's going to be a big sell-off on Ethereum until people notice that what that means is that Ethereum will need to basically disclose a lot of information if it does become a security. That's it. So the Ethereum Foundation, instead of selling the Ethereum tops into their holders' heads, as they do basically every cycle, most people don't know this, but the last two tops, 2017, 2021, the last two tops in Ethereum was when the Ethereum Foundation was dumping on the heads of the Ethereum holders. Maybe they will need to allocate, a few of those billions, maybe a couple hundred million, into, disclosing of information, governance, all this kind of stuff that normal companies do, basically. So it's not a big deal. But yes, in the short term, people get completely crazy. Oh my God, it's the end of the world, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But you know how it is. In any case, if things go very well, you'll probably have the Ethereum spot ETF approval. I don't think it's going to be in May. I think it's probably going to get postponed into December or next year. I would much rather have it, let's say, March of 2025 or so, because that would mark a very clear top. If it goes into May 2024, probably that's not going to be the top, which means that I will need to figure out the top later, and it takes one of the big possibilities out of the way. So I'm a bit torn apart about it because of that. And of course, if Ethereum gets spot ETFs, it should pump the harder than Bitcoin. Why? Well, because ownership is more concentrated, so there's not so much Ethereum out there to be sold. Then, with the proof of stake, most of the time, Ethereum is actually deflationary, while Bitcoin still inflates. Yeah, this concept of Bitcoin being deflationary was always funny to me, because how do you go from 0 coins to 19 million? You go there by inflating your currency. Now, once you get 21 million, you stop. Sure. But before that, it's just inflationary. With Ethereum proof of stake, what happens is the validators, which used to be the miners, they get the Ethereum inflation. But every time there's a transaction on the Ethereum network, a part of Ethereum gets burned. So in some cases, more Ethereum can be burned than the one that is inflated to reward the validators. So in some cases, you do have, deflation in Ethereum, just like you have deflation on Pulse Chain, and when you have hyper deflation on PulseX, because you have the buy and burn. So it's not only the burn, but you actually have an automated bot in the case of PulseX that goes into the market, buys PulseX and burns it down. So shifting into crypto, we are at 69K on Bitcoin. What is my feeling? So the halving is in about 2 weeks, give or take. Don't quote me on the exact date. It depends on the block. So it's not like somebody, it's not a company. It's not, earnings release date. No, this is depending on the block, on the blocks. And Bitcoin halving, I'm still convinced is going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Now, I think the most likely scenario, I've said this before, but I do believe this is very likely, is Bitcoin goes into, goes higher into the halving, probably goes into 80K, maybe 85K. Don't quote me on that. Give me a little bit of leniency. I would be more looking at 80K. And then historically, Bitcoin drops 38, 39, 38% in the previous halvings. So that would be 2012, 2016, 2020, which would put Bitcoin somewhere around the vicinities of 48, 50, 52K, which would be basically the breakout area that we had before. So it would be a retest of a breakout area. Peter Schiff will convince a lot of people to sell Bitcoin to buy gold. And then basically we would just go straight up from there. And I have the feeling that Bitcoin will probably go into $240,000 at the end of the cycle. We'll see if that's going to be the likely scenario, but it does seem so far the most likely one. We'll see. I'll keep you posted on that, but I've told you basically a few times already, but that's how I see it going. Now, for Pulse Chain and PulseX, they are cycle 2 narratives. They are DeFi and they are layer 1 cheaper Ethereums, which was the big thing back in 2021, and now it's the cycle 2 coins. Now, cycle 2 coins, what happens is, not cycle 2 coins, I apologize. Cycle 1 coins of cycle 2 narratives, not coins, they do very well. But they tend to do very well at the end of the bull market. Now, occasionally, there's some unicorns that do as well as a cycle 1 narrative, despite being a cycle 2 narrative. Rare, but can happen. In that case, I would like, of course, Pulse Chain to be the the one that I would like to see being the unicorn. But even if it doesn't, these things tend to pump somewhere between 50 to 150 to 200x fold, meaning, which would be more than enough from what I need, in order to retire and basically go my merry way. What I've been doing, and most people is, going back a little bit, by the way, there's been a bit of confirmation that Andrew Tate indeed owns Pulse Chain. So some of his wallets were doxed, and you could see that he sacrificed, and he has about 150K in Pulse, if I'm not mistaken. So he's one of the players in this market. I think he also sees the potential. I'm a big believer in the ecosystem. I'm actually liking the fact that we are still in these low levels. We are still in time for the big pumps. And I've seen over the last 3 weeks, I would say, record FUD and people getting, pissed off and depressed, which is all good signs to me. This is the things that I need to see to make me confident about where I am, okay? What we are is leverage on Ethereum. That's it. If Ethereum does very well, we do better. If Ethereum does garbage, we do garbage. I mean, it's really that simple. All else is conversation, theories, etc. Now, I'm considering, as you guys know, I have these lottery tickets. I am considering putting a couple thousand into PDAI, which is the copy of DAI on Pulse Chain. It's been one of the most innovative projects. The team is hell-bent in creating a stablecoin. It works excellently with another project, which is Atropa. And that would mean about, I would say, 130x from here, if we get to $1. And the price action has been nothing but spectacular as well. Now, I would have like to get in a bit earlier, maybe 50% below this. I'll probably wait to see if there's a 50-60% correction, which I'll probably drop, maybe $2,000-3,000 into it and see how it goes, see if they can achieve becoming a stable coin, meaning $1, 1 PDAI. I think the project has a lot of potential, and the mechanisms, the mathematics behind the linkage, the making it a stable coin is actually quite interesting. Now, does this mean that you should go and copy me and go all in PDAI? Of course not. Once again, these are cycle 1 coins and to some degree cycle 1 narratives, which means building a new form of stablecoin in a very different way than the other ones are. A better stablecoin? Can that be a cycle 1 narrative? Maybe. Or maybe it's just a unicorn on this chain, on this coin in particular. Who knows? I'm willing to take that bet and to see how it goes. Now, if it completely collapses, so be it. I'm not going to be in the streets. And that's the point of testing out some of these lottery tickets. So in my view, I'm trying to basically have some lottery tickets in play, as you guys know, rotate half of the profits, 75% of the profits, keep 25% to 50% in the existing lottery ticket and see where it goes. And obviously look into 2025. So, go first in Solana, which is one that I have. I'm also up on that one. Post launch, at the moment, I'm down something like 40%. Not a big deal. I mean, I've staked and I'm gathering pulse points so I can participate in launch pads. So basically, what I need one project that does a 2x and I'm already up. Pikamoon is still up 10x from when I bought it initially on the pre-sale phase 1. And then you guys may have known that I've told you this, that I was looking into Wolf, Andy, and Brett, all of them on Ethereum, a few weeks ago, even I think probably a few months ago. And the reason why I did that, and I wrote the market cap that I got in. I think I got in on Andy at $1.8 million, on Wolf around $1.3 million, and on Brett around $1.8, $1.9 million. All of these are on Ethereum, okay? Brett on base is about 800 million market cap. But all they are leverage plays on Pepe. So my reasoning, and I did get part of this from Somi, was, okay, there seems to be a big narrative, which is Pepe seems hell-bent in taking over the meme coin industry, which is a very big industry. It's about, I don't know, about reaching $100 billion very quickly, all meme coins combined. Then idea was, okay, Pepe is like the center of the narrative. Brett, Andy, and Wolf are the friends of Pepe. So, okay, and all of them did very well, particularly Brett did very well on base. So the reasoning is, okay, maybe on Ethereum, if Pepe keeps on going up, maybe it will do very well as well. So what happened? I bought Wolf at about 1.3 million, went as high as 30 million, dropped about $5 million market cap, and it's now at 15 going to 20 million market cap. So I'm almost 20x on that one. Then Brett, which is lagging the others, has pretty much gone from, and that one deserved a little bit of diamond balls to handle that one. So Brett, I got it I think at $1.9 million, went to 90k, so almost zero basically. I just hold it. I had about $1,000 in it, and then now it has gone to $6 million, and it's currently, last time I checked, is around $3 million. So about 2x from when I got it. And I do think that that one is lagging, and I do see it, going much higher. We'll see. And then Andy, which has been my darling, has gone from 1.6 or 1.7 million market cap when I got it, down to at some point 300k market cap. That was the lowest I've seen it. Maybe it went a little bit below. Please, I'm not checking the charts every second of the day. So if some people come, oh no, I saw it go down to 200. Sure. I mean, I haven't seen it. I saw it 300k, and then it's currently, last time I checked, at $61 million. And earlier this morning, it was at $81 million market cap. So from 1.6 to $80 million market cap, and it's still going. So that one is making me very happy. So basically my lottery tickets, funny enough, have now paid or are now above my entire principal investment, which means that if I would get rid of all of them, I would be with my Pulse and PulseX bags intact, and my ETHEREUM ICOs and all of these intact, and X, without any risk, because I would already have taken out all my principal. But the reason why I'm saying this is not to encourage you to go gamble on meme coins like a crazy person. Is I try to identify a narrative, I put a little bit of money in it, and so far I've been proven extremely correct. Can this thing go to $600 million market cap or 700? Sure. I mean, it also can go to zero. So what I'm starting to do now is to shave off some of the profits and rotating them into Pulse and PulseX, and then getting some of it also in cash profit, because the place that I am, we don't pay capital gains tax. So to me, it's not a big deal if I do that, just to also give me a little bit of peace of mind. So I'm an extremely confident guy, and I'm really confident on my awareness of the market and the developments. However, Nobody has ever gone broke taking profit. That is my view. And I still think that breadth on Ethereum can easily go, 100x from here or so. Can also go to 0. So this is the difference between me and the other YouTubers, is that I talk about these things before they happen, way before they happen. I share with you the fact that I'm down 50% on Pulse launch, the fact that I'm down, don't know what's going to happen with my $600 on DLNs. So I tell you all the truth. I don't lie. So for example, when I say I'm 10x up on Pikamoon versus pre-sale stage 1, that is true, but I can only access it in around a month and a half. So in reality, I don't have it, or I do not have it it doesn't matter. At the moment, I don't have anything. So by the time that we get there, I need to trust that the code of claiming will work well, and I get my coins, that nobody is going to just completely dump it. I need to trust all of it. But the point is, this is the key. This is what I've been saying right through the bear market and the recovery year, back last year, which is I need to position myself for what I think is going to do very well, which is Pulsion and PulseX with a high degree of probability. I really believe it. I can be completely wrong, but I do believe in it. When I say do very well, I'm thinking about 50x to 100x per coin, and I will be fine. This is what I said at the time. If you come to these things like, oh no, I need 1000x to retire, you are in a very bad position, because that means that if that thing goes up 250x, you're still not going to sell none of it. Which means that it can go up to 250x, go down 90%, which means you're up 25x. Which is great compared to the stock market, compared to everything. But all of a sudden, you're going to start thinking, oh my God, I had 750k, and now I have 75k. See what I mean? And that can be very painful to deal with. So that's why I position myself in a way. I've accumulated so much during the bear market and during these low time periods that I don't need a 50x. If this thing does a 10x, is not enough for me to retire, I'll be fine. I'll be good. Probably get a free house. Free house in the sense that I can pay off all my mortgage and live, comfortably at the age of 30, which is great. Can you imagine? Being in one of the top world countries and live in a house paid off at the age of 30. How many people can say that? But if it does what I think it was going to do, I'm talking about financial retirement. And if things do even better than what I was expecting to do, that means generational wealth. Now, I'm not playing on that on lottery tickets because, frankly, I don't have the time to analyze all the good things and the bad things about all of this. So when I see a narrative that I think can be captivating, that makes sense, that has some sort of track record, put a couple thousand, different wallet, never touch my main wallets in case the code of the coins are bad or exploitive, etc. So do these little things. If it does very well, I'm a very, very happy man. So you see, this is the point. I have about, that I've disclosed to all of you, and I've disclosed when, which chain, even the contract addresses I put in, my cost averages on everything, the market cap that I come in, never hide from anything before it happens. You see, all these influencers say, oh, if you put $100 on this coin on day X, you would gonna make $1 million. Yeah, did you do it? Did you talk to your audience about it? Or are you just reporting something that happened to try to convince them to go buy your freaking course and join your freaking group? The second one, right? And that is the point. Just one single lottery ticket has already paid all my other lottery tickets plus an 800% profit. That's the power of lottery tickets. Unfortunately, what people tend to do is, as those coins start to go up, they put more and more and more and more money, and then all of a sudden, one day they wake up, the whole thing is down 75%, and they've just sacrificed all their core holdings to chase green candles. There's always a rule in Wall Street, in investing, in crypto, whatever you want to say. Never chase green candles. So for example, at the moment, of all the lottery tickets, I like Brett. Why? Same narrative as Andy. 2 million, 2.5 million, 3 million market cap, so extremely low. I do think there's the potential that one of these days, one of these weeks, this thing jumps, 100x or 50x. And then I'm going to be extremely happy. That's it. And then I can live risk-free, be very sober in my analysis, and hopefully get to where I want to be when I started this channel. Sorry for the longer video, guys. I think a few important things had to be covered. I would like to thank you all for your patience, and I'll see you in the next one.